Swimming like a shark in a shrimp tank. Big fish, small pond in the shrimp tank.
Welcome to the post-show wrap-up of the Shrimp Tank. I'm Brad Berger, along with my co-host Dan Whedon. Our guest today is Aaron Murphy with ADM Architecture. We just had a fun and intriguing conversation with Aaron, and to listen to the entire podcast, visit seattle.shrimptankpodcast.com or listen to us through the iHeartRadio app. You can still subscribe to our podcast on iTunes, and we're always interested in your feedback, so please do not forget to rate us. So, Aaron, I'm just intrigued by the architecture industry and my exposure to it. Could you share with our audience, from your perspective, what's changed in architecture over the last 20 years?
Yeah, absolutely. You know, with regard to being an entrepreneur and being the business owner and the leader, a lot has changed. I mean, we've gone from drawing with pencil and don't draw more before noon, then you can erase at 5 o'clock, right? So many things online, and the ability to have meetings with people in other states and share screens, and it's really allowed us to stay very nimble and mobile and make adjustments to the economy and size of the company pretty quickly.
Mm-hmm. So, Aaron, one of the things that fascinates me about your business is the whole aging in place industry. And one of the things that caught my attention recently, I was in Victoria in a beautifully remodeled hotel, and just to step into the shower, it felt like it was a 3-foot tub. and so I thought, this is hard enough for me. I can't imagine somebody who's getting older. Now, you work with a lot of clients who are getting their forever home, somewhere around 50, 55 years old. What would be some of the things that they might take for granted in how they set their home up to live there for the next 30 years?
Yeah, or did they at all? Let's be honest, right? A lot of the houses are spec built, right? And then the builder has their way of doing it, and dad's spreadsheet, and don't change it because we make money, don't talk to me, right? But the need inside of housing has changed a lot. Like you said, whether you run into it as a tub you can't step over, or there are needs that are different when you're 50 plus. Door widths, levered handles, paddle light switches, getting rid of some of the yellows and beiges and incandescent lighting that doesn't work as our eyes get 50 plus, for example. Right. Lots of stuff.
Okay.
Now, you had mentioned a little exercise to run people through. I was wondering if you might mention what that exercise is, because I thought it was brilliant.
Oh, absolutely, yeah. So I've been speaking on stages for years, and I tell people at the end of that speech to do the sock and ball test. Put your hand around a tennis ball or a baseball and put a sock over the top of that up to your elbow, and go use your house and figure out what will and won't work when you have something as simple as maybe early arthritis and grip stuff. Just a place to start.
Yeah. And one of the other areas, Aaron, that I thought was just intriguing and I think really beneficial for our listeners is just kind of your entrepreneurial element. And could you share with our audience how important it is as an entrepreneur to always be looking to reinvent yourself, given the ups and downs, especially in the industry that you're in?
For sure, yeah. I mean, we all hope we don't repeat history by not learning from it, right? So having bottomed out and survived that, I look at opportunities where you don't necessarily need to increase brick and mortar type overhead costs to increase staff. And I think that and scripts and systems, things that when you're working on the business, not in the business, can benefit you, whether it makes your product a more saleable asset or its worth as a function of those things. Those are all great things to be thinking about as an owner.
Great.
Well, Aaron, we want to thank you for joining us today. If we have people out there listening and they want to learn more about you, how can they get in touch with you?
Yeah, sure. I'm outside of Seattle in Kitsap County, and start with our website, www.adm-architecture.com, or call my office, 360-881-0282.
Once again, this is just a taste of what you can expect by listening to the entire podcast. Visit seattle.shrimptankpodcast.com or listen to us on iHeartRadio. You can also subscribe to our podcast on iTunes, and we would love to hear from you, so please do not forget to rate us.
Well, Brad and I will be back in the tank in 2 weeks on February 6th. This has been a great show. That one will be too. But for tonight, the hay is in the barn.
I've been feeling like a shark in a shrimp tank. Big fish, small pond, and the shrimp